Hey everyone, today I just wanted to do a quick review or discussion on the book Shadow of the Conqueror by Shad M. Brooks. And what I found to be special in this book is that this is a character like I have never seen before. It is a guy who was once a terrible, terrible tyrant, and the things he did, come with that kind of territory. Think of your Mussolini's and your Stalin's, and imagine if one day they decided that they knew, or not decided, they found out that they were the bad guy, because everyone is the hero in their own story. That's just how it is for some reason. But in this book, he knows he was a terrible person, and he tries to atone for it. And honestly, it poses a good question of, could he even atone for it? Because the things this guy did, some of the things were really, really bad. But again, it creates a unique setting. You don't see this kind of stuff in literature. It's usually just the hero's tale and a character you can like and look up to, which that's fine. But not every story needs to be like that. I heard some people say they can't relate with the character, thus it's not as good in their mind, which, hey, if you need a character to look up to, that's fine. But I'm not that kind of person. Sometimes books to me are like media. Like if you're watching a movie, you're not living through that character, but you do get to see the kind of stuff they go through. um the book is, again, very solid. Overall, I would say I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5. There's some issues I had, but they're on the smaller end of the spectrum. But you know what? I think I actually should bring that up. So this is going to be a spoiler. If you actually want to read the book, I recommend it. So I would actually recommend skipping this part if you haven't read it. But towards the end of the story, one of my biggest issues is one of the characters you find out was that has been following him is a victim of what he did, a while back. And there's a trial, and she speaks at the trial, which that was a powerful moment. Not going to lie, but my biggest issue with that scene is after that they meet up again, and you could tell they're going to be working together. And I just don't think that was the right choice. I think there should have been a consequence. There should have been something bigger for that kind of issue. Sorry, but I just feel like there wasn't enough consequence for, his previous actions towards the end of the book. Now, there are consequences, obviously. I mean, if you're this evil dictator and you try to do some good, there's going to be people who vehemently, hate you. They just will never forgive you. And in all honesty, they have every right to. But overall, this was a really solid piece. It poses questions like I've never seen. It doesn't, it doesn't pull any punches. In fact, I was looking up reviews for this book, and the worst one-star review was something to the effect of, if you're a trauma victim, don't read this book because it makes light of people's traumas, which I vehemently disagree with. This book constantly is mentioning, like the things he did and how they were terrible, constantly. But one thing I've come to realize is people are going to look at trauma differently. Everyone's going to experience trauma differently. I mean, some people come back from Afghanistan and they're fine. Other people, they're not so lucky. And I think this is a good example of that. I truly do. But honestly, overall, it is a solid book, and I honestly think you should read it. Shad, if somehow you're seeing this, I don't think you will, but if somehow you do, you made a solid piece, and honestly, I can't wait for the next one because, in my opinion, it had a great world, great characters, and it was very unique. I hadn't seen anything like it. So, I hope you guys like my little discussion review. Have a nice day.